Davis Mills, I think it's as simple as he just needed some reps under live fire, because in the fourth quarter he was really dealing, and he was making good decisions with the ball,
including tucking and running for the game-winning touchdown.
And Nico Collins, man, he didn't have a perfect game, but my God, some of the catches he made were catches that only Nico Collins could make.
The two-point conversion. I mean,
the two-point conversion. A lot of really impressive, but like some of the ones that were uniquely Nico Collins are one of the ones where he is getting hit so hard as he's catching the ball, and defenders are bouncing off of him.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Just such a freaking redwood.
The thing that was impressive about the two-point conversion, as long as we're talking about Nico, was the simultaneous one-handed catch with getting the feet down and inside the pylon.
Well, and DeAndre Hopkins, this is the thing. I love receivers like DeAndre Hopkins was really good about this. Having the awareness that, hey, if I try to clutch the ball with two hands at this point, it might look like I didn't have control of it. Mm-hmm. So he pins it against his body with the one hand.
Yeah.
And it's like something that somebody might look at and think is showboating or something. Like DeAndre was awesome at that. He would just pin it against his body, stop all movement, get the other foot down, and there you go. That looked like that was one of those Nico Collins plays where in real time it looks impossible. I think from up where we were in the press box, I don't think I thought it was a reception immediately.
I was just looking to see if he was celebrating and look at the ref.
I looked and thought, man, there's no way he did it. And I don't know how many times I have to make that mistake.
And that pylon cam came in real handy there. The pylon cam was right, his feet were right in front of it.
Yeah, because even from the other angle, even the field level angle there up close, you couldn't tell until you saw the pylon camera.
Pylon cam came in handy that time. All right, so the Texans win 36-29. We've not mentioned the name Nick Caley yet here in the open. At least I don't remember if we have. We have destroyed Nick Caley as a city over the first 8 games of the season. By and large, of the way Nick Caley called the game yesterday.
I thought that for the most part, I mean, the biggest thing that I liked about it was that he used Nick Chubb and Woody Marks in a way that makes sense, and they got Woody Marks out on the perimeter. And they're going to have to continue to devise ways to do that to where there aren't tendencies. But it ended up being a really good 1-2 combo of Nick Chubb and Woody Marks. The other part of it, too, is, all right, I don't know how they're making their personnel decisions on the offensive line. They ended up with a group out there that was, again, somehow just really manhandling the Jaguars' defensive line by the second half of the game. But I don't know how you go through an entire first half of the season with Juice Scruggs and Laken Tomlinson rotating at left guard to a point today where you're down 2 of your starters, and neither of those 2 guys are starting the game, and Jarrett Patterson's at left guard and C.D. Sow is at right guard. The 2 guys that you've spent a half season on rotating, you didn't deem worthy to start the game, and then within 2 series, Juice Scruggs is back out there. I have zero confidence in their ability to actually assess offensive linemen or know what to do with them, and yet the guys they ended up with out on the field, they figured it out and they got it done.
Well, they ended up, the Sow thing is the big one, and D'Amico didn't get asked about it in the post game, and I get it, it was a win, so everybody's asking about what the win means and Davis Mills and blah, blah, blah. He has to get asked about this today at his Monday press conference, like how C.D. Sow was a practice squad guy, and he right guard and was terrible.
Yeah.
He wasn't good.
Wait, what were they saying in practice?
Yeah, and so I don't want to get – look, it's a Monday after a win. I don't want to get too caught up in that. I guess my thing with Caley and the offense, I'll say this positively about Caley. Look, you had 400 total yards of offense yesterday, so you conducted a good ship yesterday, absolutely. I thought he was masterful in how he handled and managed, Caley that is, the final drive, where it served the dual purpose of getting you a lead and soaking the clock down. Now, with Cam Little on the other side, 30 seconds is enough to get into field goal range, and if it weren't for a hands to the face penalty, Cam Little would have had a look at that thing. So we can't ignore that. I just don't know moving forward if there's anything I can take from, because they were doing that whole downhill run thing that we laughed at Caley about this week when he was talking about it, and they were doing it. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do it next week or the week after that.
Yeah,
they seem to have worn down. That felt like a very opponent-specific thing.
It felt
yesterday.
old school in the way that even though you passed way more than you ran yesterday. But it's there is an element to, by the fourth quarter, just being on the field a lot is what wears a defense down. The run game or the pass game, like rushing the passer, tires defensive linemen out as well. And running play action and boots especially. They ran boots and sprint outs, and that gets defensive linemen tired. And those Jaguars defenders were pretty gassed by the end of the game. And the Texans took advantage of it. So, yeah, full credit to Caley for that fourth quarter. It's a matter of can you replicate this versus better teams? And really, you replicate it against the Tennessee Titans. Can you just keep some semblance of continuity going with this week? And C.J. Stroud, we'll find out hopefully something about him here in the next couple days, whether he's going to play or not. Obviously, that's a huge X factor.
Yep, no doubt about it. But at its core, yesterday was a win that saved the Texans season. 4-5. Still sitting at the 9 seed in the AFC.
Well, I mean, a lot winning. Closer. It was the two teams ahead of you had 2 wins more than you. Yeah. Now you're sitting at the Chiefs at 5-4 and the Jaguars are at 5-4. Yep. You get to, you're going to play one of those teams on the road. And then you have the Bills above the Jaguars. You play them as well. So the Bills more quick, obviously.
Yeah. And you play the Colts twice, and you play the Chargers are ahead of you. You play them in Week 17.
I think the big thing is if you look at this game, if you're trying to look at this glass half full as much as possible, enjoy the win, but also say, okay, like how can I frame this differently? Those 3 mistakes early on that knocked you down to 17-0. Those are theoretically preventable mistakes. I mean, Miles Bryant was. You're not allowed to do that, man. You're not allowed to carry the football like that. You're not.
Tremont Smith.
Excuse me, Tremont Smith. Apologies to Miles Bryant.
Yep.
Tremont Smith. Thanks, Sean. Like Tremont Smith, who do you think you are?
Right? He's carrying it like a loaf of bread.
You're not that guy.
There's one guy in the history of football that's allowed to do that, and he's not with us anymore. And his name's Walter Payton.
You're not allowed to carry the football that way. You held on the wall to carry the football that way.
That was the other funny thing, too, as long as we're talking about personnel stuff, is I'm not mad about this. I was just befuddled. Like one kickoff, because there were a lot of kickoffs in the first half to the Texans from the Jags. One kickoff, it'd be Braxton Berrios and Dameon Pierce back there. The next one would be Jalen Noel and Tremont Smith and Dameon Pierce.
I give him a pass on that just because with the new kickoff rules, I think there's so many different ways that they can create different plays and packages with the person. I mean, you've got linemen out there now in different roles than you used to.
I'm not mad about it. It's just weird.
Yeah,
they have 4 guys and they're rotating.
I don't. Well, it's weird, especially on a day where the special teams were so discombobulated. Yeah. I mean, that was that was a bad day on special teams. They can't do that versus the better teams.
Cannot. Nope. All right.
But the Cam Little dynamic, though, that kicker out there, it made the fourth quarter so much more stressful.
The last possession, I'm like 30 seconds. It's too much time.
And you got Trevor Lawrence scrambling. I mean, so much of it was deja vu to previous Bo Nix's or Baker Mayfield's or whatever. You have Trevor Lawrence scrambling into field goal position. It was freaking me out seeing that red field goal line, the line to gain at the 50-yard line.
I know.
And realistically, it could have been, because that field goal he made last week supposedly would have been good for 72, 73 yards or more than that.
It cleared the crossbar.
I mean, I was sitting there thinking that, man, even when they were at the 45 or so, that penalty was huge.
The penalty
not
was
just
huge.
Because it wiped off the big play, but also knocked them out of Cam Little range.
Yeah, it was a pass to the right side or 42-yard line.
But even the line of scrimmage there, I think before that pass, it would have been like a 72-yard field goal, and the Jaguars would have tried it. Yeah,
after the scramble. Yeah, they definitely would have.
So the penalty was a double bonus because it took away the big play that put him in easy field goal range and then also knocked him out of Cam Little range.
That's exactly right. And that forced him to have to throw the ball with Trevor Lawrence with 7 seconds left. And we all know what happens then. Sheldon Rankins takes it to the house every time.
My fantasy was that it would be a 72-yard field goal attempt with Danico Autry blocking a kick.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if they called Danico Autry for that.
The unsportsmanlike.
They call it there's leverage or whatever.
Yeah.
So who knows if that would have taken a little pepper out of him.